Dayfacto podcast is privileged to have been founded on Wadjuk Noongar land.
We pay our respects to the traditional owners of this land and express our sincere gratitude for their ongoing guidance as we work in their community. Welcome back to another episode of Dayfacto, where we discuss our 9-to-5 pattern relationships in another podcast. Literally, not one single person asked for. I'm Kate.
And I'm Nicolette.
And a big shout out and hello to our producer, Lainey. Yay!
Hello, Lainey. Also, huge shout out to today's sponsors, which is a pumpkin style coach. No kiss, no coach.
No kiss, no coach.
That is what they say.
Did you prepare that or did you just think of that?
No, I had that prepared. If
Did you?
check the notes. They are in there.
Oh, okay.
All the work I go and do behind the scenes. So in today's episodes, we are chatting all about icks, how to kick someone out when they just won't take the damn hint, or hit, and what to do when your friends befriend your ex-fuck buddy.
Excellent. That sounds so exciting. But before we do, the before of the before, how was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, Kate and I went on a boat party, which was very fun.
It was great.
I'm really into boats now. I would say.
And Nicolette, actually, she did outdoor ed when she was at high school. So she did sailing when she was at outdoor ed. So
I did say to Rod, I said, Rod, if you need any tips throughout the day on the sailing, how to put the mast up,
sails,
knots,
speed, winds, etc., etc.
I said, hit me up. Because I am here. I was there for backup. He actually didn't need my help in the end, so that was good. But no, it was a great day.
If he needed you though,
I was there.
I'm behind, like in netball,
and ready.
Here if you need,
ready to take over the steering of the catamaran.
Yeah.
No,
we did have a great boat party. Pre that, I've actually been down to a wedding down south. Okay. I don't know if we've mentioned it before. We do go down south sometimes.
We do sometimes. Actually, I was down south this weekend as well.
Twins.
So you tell your wedding story.
Thank you. Wedding was great. I was actually a bridesmaid. I wasn't the bridesmaid though.
Always the bridesmaid.
Never the bride. Never the bride. But I did get really into the season of love.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Because we know that I'm in a relationship now. Yes. I haven't shut off about it. I'm taken. That's what I keep telling people.
Off the market.
When they come and introduce themselves to me, I go, nope, I'm taken.
Exactly. And that happens a lot. So.
It does. When you look like Hailey Bieber.
Well, exactly. When you're this good looking, it does happen often.
However, a few things happened. First thing, the groom's best man had come from the UK for it. Mm-hmm. The bride I think she's met the groom's best man a few times. Okay. He lives in the UK, they live in WA, whatever. The best man's girlfriend comes. She's a recent girlfriend.
Okay.
Anyway, guess where she sat in the ceremony, Nicolette? Have a guess. She's a new girlfriend. They've met twice.
Well, I'm going to say, protocol, you'd stand at the back.
You'd stand at the back, know your place.
Not knowing the bride and groom that well, at the back. Even if your partner's in the bridal party, at the back.
Mm-hmm. My partner, he was at the back. Yep. He knew his place.
As he should have been.
She sat in the front row.
Ooh.
Front row.
Yeah.
I walked down the aisle with my flowers. I stood up the front. I turned and I clocked this woman. I had no idea who she is, sitting in the front row. And I was shook.
Well, you got the bloody celebrants, mate. Excuse me. You at the back. Let's go.
Who are you?
Scram.
Who are you?
I don't mean to be bitch, but who are you?
Get to the back. That was the first thing that happened that I was like, whoa, people don't know their place in life.
And it's just wedding etiquette.
Yes.
The front row, grandparents, family.
Yep.
Next row,
cousins.
close friends, cousins.
Yep.
Third and fourth rows, friends. And then anyone else at the back.
You're at the back.
Yep.
And the only reason you would move from being at the back to sitting down is if there was enough people to fill the seats.
And they told you.
And they told you to sit down.
Yep.
Otherwise,
the celebrants, they tell people.
Stand at the back.
Yeah, stand at the back for sure.
The other thing that happened, there was a finance bro there.
You know the type.
I fucking hate finance bros. Anyway, me and my partner were walking to the toilet. We were having a great time. You know, it's a weekend of love. We're on a bender of love, etc., etc. Anyway, ran into this finance bro. He stops us for a chat, and I was being polite, and I went, oh, like, hey, like, how's it going? And he said, yeah, good. And then I said, oh, like, your girlfriend's here. She's lovely. How long have you been together?
Mm-hmm.
He says, oh, well, we've been together for 2.5 years. And we went, okay, cool. And he goes, yeah, well, that means we're de facto now.
Or de facto, if you will. He must listen to the podcast.
Yeah. And then we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, yeah, well, it's a bit of a problem, when you've got property.
Oh.
Fuck me dead, bro.
No one wants your tiny little plot of land in Alkimos, mate.
Nah.
Fucking, they're not fighting
this
for it.
girl is not with you for your fucking property, bro.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, we just went, ha, and walked off. I laughed in his face.
Oh, good.
What a fucking loser.
What an odd thing to say to people you've just met.
Well, when you've got property.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, they have to let everyone know they've got a place to live in this economy as well. So it is a bit of a flex.
Yeah, with the old cos he lives.
With the cos he
lives. It
lives.
is a bit of a flex.
Yep. And I'd say that's why she's been with him for 2.5 years.
Yes.
Get her little mitts on that plot of land.
Yep. The last thing that happened was the L word came out.
Oh.
The big 4-letter L word. LOVE.
Love.
Those words I didn't think would ever come out of my mouth. Well, and they did.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
You know what? Kate must be on the bender of love because
I'm on the bender of love.
She's also opened up, now she actually hugs people.
I hug people.
She was hugging. And you know what the biggest thing she did on the weekend?
Yep.
She offered to put sunscreen on my back. And Kate has never touched my back because she icks her out to touch other people. So she offered and I said, who is this changed woman?
And then Nicolette put sunscreen on my back.
And it was a very intimate moment. I said, look out.
Whoa.
Look out. So
something's happening here. I'm not sure.
It's the season of love, and I have been saying that. Valentine's Day is coming up. Everyone's trying to get their partners locked down.
Yeah, except my partner's not here for Valentine's Day. So I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, move on, mate. Day. Get out and let me get someone in who is going to buy me flowers on Valentine's Day.
If he doesn't send you 100 red roses, does he really love you?
That's so true.
I would say no. Yeah, well, I was also down south on the weekend, and it was quite fun. We did actually the weekend before that, because I don't think I've told about this. We did a wine tour for my sister's birthday. And I just want to say, when does fashion just become plain old ugly? Because,
okay, go on. Who was wearing something?
Okay, sure, wine tours, demographics, sometimes a bit younger, age groups, right? This was kind of like a throwback. We're all like, let's do a wine tour. That'll be fun, something different. These are 18 to 21-ish, one of these buses. This guy comes in.
Oh, so they went on your wine tour?
No.
A different wine tour.
Please, we have class. No. Comes in, he's got this like shaved skullet, so shaved head mullet at the back. Full speed dealer sunnies, the thickest chain you ever see. The mullet's also blonde, but he's got black hair, so he's dyed the mullet. Okay. Long boardies past the knee.
Not the long boardies, bro.
Long boardies are back, FYI, apparently.
No.
Unbuttoned shirt, but not even a long sleeve shirt, like a t-shirt shirt with all these patterns on it. And he's like full, like getting down on the dance floor at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon at one of these wineries. And
at a winery?
Everyone on the bus was dressed the same. And I'm thinking, is this the new fashion?
Was it a dress-up party?
No. I thought that too. Even some of the girls are wearing, everything was just very questionable. And I was like, maybe I'm just fucking old, but that is gross.
You are fucking old.
And speaking of fashion, have you ever seen an alpaca with a mullet?
What?
Because down south, I was down south on the weekend.
Oh, were you down south?
There was 2 alpacas in the paddock at Beer Farm.
Yep.
One had a shaved mullet. Insert picture of alpaca here. We'll put that on. And the other one had a mohawk.
Cute.
It's very cute.
I love that.
And they're going, how alpacas spit.
They do.
And they're
so
on each other.
They have big front teeth.
Their teeth, yeah.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was walking to the beach the other day. This is my last story. With, I don't know if I mentioned it. I've got a partner now.
Okay.
So.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. So I've actually got a boyfriend. So I'm taken. Anyway, we were walking to the beach and we were in a car park, walking through the car park, and then this old dude driving like a little Hyundai gets, and he's got a little crusty-eyed white dog.
Oh, yep.
My least favourite type of dog is a crusty-eyed white dog in the passenger seat. Winds down his window and pulls up next to us, locks eyes with my partner and goes, do I know you from arm wrestling? And he was like, what? He's like, do I know you from arm wrestling down in Bunbury? And my partner was like,
yeah.
Anyway, I just kept walking because I was like, this is too weird. Anyway, they had a full-on conversation. He's now signing up to do arm wrestling.
Oh.
And this guy said, if you come have a beer with me and I'll teach you what I know and you will never lose a pub arm wrestling match in your life.
Wow.
And I thought, how many pub arm wrestling matches are dudes doing these days? Because I didn't think it was that much of a thing anymore.
Maybe it's a certain type of pub, you know?
And I know why he picked my partner, because he's got tats and he's quite,
you know, dangerous looking.
dangerous looking, rugged.
Rugged.
Oosh.
Actually, no. Yep.
That's the end of that.
I was going to say,
Arm
I
wrestling.
had a question that I know all the people want to know. Last week, Kate, you said being hungover is out. And I want to know if post-wedding, were you or were you not hungover? Because judging by the picture you sent me in the morning, I'm going to say you are hungover.
I think I got food poisoning.
It was the prawns, all right? The prawns got me good.
It was the prawns.
Okay.
No, technically speaking, yes, I was hungover.
Okay.
However, vibe speaking, nah. I got on with it.
Well,
I went
you
to the
got a-
beach. I had a
Exactly.
brekkie burger.
Love that.
I had another burger for lunch and another burger for dinner. So I was fine.
Well, exactly.
So I didn't bring the hangover vibes
Down.
into 2023. But do you know who did bring the hangover vibes into 2023?
Who?
That was producer Lainey. Producer Lainey. She was meant to come on the boat with us yesterday, but she couldn't come because she was too hungover.
She said she was throwing up. She was that hungover. And it's like she didn't even listen to the episode. We told her it was out. There she is.
All right. What's our hot topic?
Our hot topic is Gen Z Amin.
Jed Z Amin.
Gen Z.
What did I say? Jed. Gen Z Amin. Who's Gen Z?
Gen Z, the age, I think it's from like 1996 up. So as in like towards the 2000s.
Okay.
Gen Zers. I'm not sure where it actually cuts off though. But anyway, all the teens now and like the early 20s, they're all Gen Zers.
And why they mean?
Because, right, I just think there's a lot of rules and I don't understand.
Yeah, actually, that's so true.
A lot of rules. Not mean. Sometimes they can be a bit mean. Not Lainey over there, you know.
We'll allow you.
Little golden child. But no, Gen Zers, they are, this is what I have to say. And again, it's not all of them. This is just the ones that say on
Get it
TikTok.
off your chest. Get it off your chest on a public
For
platform.
a bunch of people whose whole aesthetic is to look like they don't care, they sure have a lot of rules. And they definitely care a lot. So which one is it? Do you not care or do you care so much to make it look like you don't care?
Second option. Picked it.
Yep.
Boom.
And that's what I'm saying. So, you know, all the rules, they're like, you can't use emojis. You can't put your Insta story, it has to fit. You can only use a certain font. This is a TikTok I saw the other day.
I saw that TikTok.
Yeah, the last font you can only use. And you know what? I noticed the high up selfies. These ones that they do now, like you know when we had the
Yes.
the little digital cameras when we were in like primary school and you hold them up like really high, and, like,
Yeah.
pose. They're doing that now. So I mean, bringing it back, if I say Selfies
Boomerangs.
back. Boomerangs out. Everyone kind of knew that one anyway.
Yeah.
No filters. And I also want to say that while I'm shitting on Gen Z right now, obviously not all of them, but people say all millennials, and as right on the cusps we are.
Are we on the cusp?
We are because it ends at 1996
Okay. Yep.
and it starts in 1981. So that's
a big
that's
lot
a
of people.
big range. That's like 40-year-olds to us. So can you really group them all together? I don't know. And that's just what I feel about that.
Okay. Well, I'm
So,
glad you got that off your chest.
there you go.
I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad. Now that that's done,
Mhm.
let's get into today's story. The episode name is Bro, Get Out of My House.
Mhm.
Just get out.
Get out.
Leave. This is I'd say this kind of relationship was a relationship that went on for way too long. And not by my own choice. I wanted it to end
Not without
quickly.
trying.
Not without trying.
Mhm.
So, went out one night, went to the Court, which is like in Perth. It's one of the gay clubs. I love the Court. I have the best time at the Court whenever I go. Everyone's in the best mood.
Yep.
There's drag queens, there's dancing, there's
The music is immaculate.
music. Music is great. Lights, cameras, action, you name it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was on the hunt that night. I was doing a lap.
Yep.
You know, one of those
Yeah,
ones
check it
where you
out.
let the girls know I'm just doing a quick
Yep.
lap.
See what's going on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Found my prey.
Yep. Love it.
He kind of was had long curly hair. I think he might have been tall, but again, I'm not very good at seeing
No, he
height,
wasn't.
so he
He
could have
wasn't
been
that
short. But he was definitely like buffer. But okay,
Was he?
maybe Maybe not. He looked at
The first time you saw him,
maybe. Yes.
As the drunk goggles wore off.
Yes.
Maybe not.
I'd say looked a little bit like Jason Momoa. A little bit.
Maybe like a size 8.
Yeah, like a size 8 Jason Momoa. Exactly.
Okay, yep.
That's
all
exactly
right,
what
all right, so just smaller version.
Yeah. Went up to him. Obviously, he said I was a pro surfer because
That's the pickup line.
that's the pickup line. We got each other's number, and then I went home because I'm old and tired. He wanted me to stay. I said no. I'm old and tired. I'm going to bed. Went home. The next day, he messaged me, obviously, because he thinks I'm a pro surfer and he wants to hang out.
But who wouldn't?
Yeah. He comes to my place where I live the next day, and we go into Freo and we have lunch. And it was a good lunch. He was Welsh, so he was like a Welsh size 8 Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next day after that, following, we then go on a little surf trip together. So this is where I've really got to perform.
Oh, that's a bit tough. High expectations.
I was a bit nervous because I had to perform. Luckily, there was no surf.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. Yeah.
I was like, oh, what a shame. Anyway, so we had a few kind of really fun dates. I did kind of like him. Then after the surf mission day, that night, he just kind of lingered. He lingered around. And let me tell you, this lingering went on for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do remember.
We hung out a few times. He then lingered. I think we continued to see each other a little bit after that. There was some sleepovers. But the lingering got worse. The lingering turned into
nothing worse.
Practically living at my house, drinking my coffee.
Wait, so he was a backpacker?
So,
or was he living there?
That's the point I was going to make.
Okay.
I think he lingered because either one, he was living at a backpacker's, or two, he was living out of his car. So he definitely needed somewhere to stay, and I was the option.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that he was doing those things because he was Welsh. He'd come over here on a backpacking trip, and I think he decided to stay and was going to keep working here. Mm-hmm. I don't know, not my problem. He also just like helped himself to my food.
Ooh.
Helped himself
with the cos he lives,
mate.
Wow.
Making him, it'd be like also in the morning he'd be like, oh, like, do you want a coffee? And I'd be like, oh yeah, excellent. He'd be like, okay, well you can go.
What?
Bro, make me a coffee.
Yeah, God, it's your coffee.
And like I would like be like, okay, well I have to go to work this morning, so like I'm obviously just working from home, but I'm not fucking chatting with you while I'm working from home. He'd be like, yeah, no worries, just lays in bed while I'm frantically running around trying to get ready for work and making it frantic, so it's like giving him the hint to get the fuck out.
Oh, yep.
Then this particular day, I'm frantically running around. He goes into the kitchen, just starts helping himself. Breakfast, makes himself a coffee, sits up on the kitchen bench.
I remember walking in, he was sitting on the bench. I was like, who is this guy? And why is he still here?
And why is he sitting on my kitchen bench?
God, I don't even have my own house. That's weird.
No, fuck off. I didn't really know how to get rid of him. I started a fade out. Mm-hmm. I definitely started a slow fade out because we know I love a slow fade out.
But you're roommates now, so it gets a little bit harder.
It was a bit harder because we were roommates. So I had to start being way less available.
Yeah.
Initiated the slow fade out.
Yeah.
Was feeling pretty good. I was like, I feel like it's clear. Mm-hmm. It's clear to you where we now stand. Then our really good friend from Canada, who we knew and lived in Canada, he was flying home from Canada, but he popped into Perth for a few days and we were going to hang out. And I thought, there's this other guy, there's my friend, I'm working, I'll set them up on a little man play date to get them both out of my hair. Mm-hmm. They went on their man play date. Unfortunately, best buds.
They were the same person. I will say that. And I think once I mentioned that to you, you kind of realised.
They clicked. They were best buds. They were the same person. Nicolette pointed it out to me, and as soon as she pointed it out to me, I was
shattered.
I was immediately icked out. Way more than I'd ever been icked out in my entire life.
Picture your like rock climbing, long haired Yahoo slackline at the beach.
Oh, not the slackline
gang. That is the exact gang that they were in. Which is fun when you're backpacking, and it suits your life when you're backpacking.
And I don't want to shame slackliners because obviously Nicolette is a big slackliner.
Oh, yeah. I love my slackline.
Anyway, so they had their little mandate. They come back. They're both now lingering, which is fine because my friend, he's excellent. He can linger as long as he wants.
But he's invited to stay. He was invited to stay.
He was invited to stay at my house. This other guy was not invited to stay at my house, so why are you still here? Anyway, we go out for drinks that night. This guy, who theoretically, I'm thinking in my mind, should be trying to impress me if we've potentially, I know I initiated the slow fade out, but we've taken a few steps back towards dating a little bit. So you should be trying to impress me, as I would be trying to impress you.
Well, your roommate's now, he doesn't need to.
So he
no romantic interest.
Buys my friend drinks all night long. Not one offer to buy me drinks.
What?
Which I don't need you to buy me drinks, but just offer.
I would say he maybe had a little bit more of a love interest
with my friend.
Your friend.
Yeah, 100%.
He was using you to get to him and it was so obvious.
Yeah. So then he stays the night and I practically put a pillow fort between us because I was so off it.
Yep.
And I think I also didn't want to sleep with him that night. I wonder why, because I was icked out and he did not like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he just invites himself to stay the night. Wake up the next morning, it's Mother's Day, right? I'm going to a Mother's Day lunch. I think it was a lunch. I'm in the kitchen trying to cook food for the lunch and I'm running late because I'm never on time. What's he do? Oh, comes in, makes coffee, sits on the kitchen bench.
With your best mate.
And requests food from me.
No.
Then my brother comes to pick me up and I introduce him to my friend who's here from Canada. That's fine. And then I'm like, this is this guy. Introduce him. And my brother was like, okay, like, hey. And then I'm like, well, I'm going now. So, like, bye. What does he do? He just, see you later, Kate, as he sits on the kitchen bench.
No.
Get the fuck out of my house. And then my brother gets out and he's like, who the fuck is that? I was like,
who the fuck is that guy?
Man, and he was like, why is he still in your house? I was like, man, I don't know. Get him out of the fucking
pretend
house.
you and your Canada mate, like he could have just pretended like, we're just going to go get a coffee or go to the beach together. So they're both not just like at your house.
And I was honestly, when I came back from lunch, he wasn't there, but I was expecting him to still be there.
I'm surprised he wasn't, to be honest.
Who
lingers? Moved in his little bedside table.
Oh my God.
Sleep apnea machine.
Honestly, cleared out a drawer.
Set up on the bed.
So, this is why the episode is called Bro, Get the Fuck Out of My House. Because, bro, get the fuck out of my house. Stop drinking my coffee.
What even happened in the end there? Did he ever come back? Because our friend from Canada left.
Our friend from Canada left?
Actually, no, you forgot to say we went down south for a festival.
Oh my God, no.
And we had this really nice house, us and like our other Canada friends and this guy. And then
Okay, so we booked this house down south for a festival.
With enough beds for just the amount of people.
The right amount of people there. This is 3.5 hours away from where I live. He somehow is there and comes and stays the night. And what does he do? Lingered.
And you know what he also did? Ate the fish and chips we ordered.
He ate all the food we ordered.
Without any offer to chip in for the fish and chips. He just helped himself to a plate. And I said, fuck, that guy's annoying.
And then he lingered. And then I had to not sleep in the comfy bed with Nicolette. I had to sleep on the fucking floor next to him.
I mean, I would have just left him out there, to be honest.
I know. And then the next day, we're all packing up, cleaning because we're trying to leave. He's just lingering. Just lingering in the fucking house.
Oh, like, I could not take in. Actually, I think he could take in. I think he just wanted to stay. Like, he was like, why would I go live in my car when I can just hang out with you guys? So I don't care. You give me the hints. I'm just not leaving.
Oh, fucking hell.
You're too nice, Kate. That's all I have to say. I would have been, get out.
Okay, so Nick, then first things first, icks. Obviously, he gave me the ick when I realised he was exactly like our friend. Not because I don't love my friend, but just because I don't want to date my friend.
Yeah, and it's more a younger brother relationship.
Yeah. So what are some other icks for you?
I noticed you have this one down as well, but adult milk drinkers. And I'm talking, buys a 2-litre carton from Coles, drinks it in like 4 days. Not even 4 days, 2 days. Like out of the bottle or in a glass, and they just sit there with a huge oversized glass.
Who's doing this?
Oh, I know a few people. I'm not going to name names, but I know a few.
Similar kind of thing. My ex-boyfriend used to order a cow's milk mocha for his morning coffee.
Yeah.
Get a real coffee. Don't order a hot chocolate for breakfast.
What's so tricky? And I was like, what's that helping with your day? That's probably not getting you energized. You'll be groggy and clogged.
Yeah.
Same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not one. Another one, licking each finger while eating chips. Like, and then putting the hand back in the bag. Thankfully, I haven't noticed that one in a while, but really gets to me.
Nicolette does this thing when she, instead of licking the fingers, she wipes it on her shoulder and does this
Wipe it
like
on my shirt.
she does this like little.
Which is fine if it's like salted chips and if it's like Doritos. I just have this orange patch.
I wipe it on my pants. She does a little shoulder thing.
I was like, because it's so much better when you're sharing chips with people and they're just licking their fingers and going back for it. I don't know.
Megan.
What's another one of yours?
Okay, I put being a stinge.
Yeah.
Because this guy was like openly a stinge.
Yeah.
And would talk about, I mean, I'm a broke bitch.
No, change that attitude.
I know we've got, a coach sponsoring this episode, but I'm actually a broke bitch. But he would talk about it like to the point of like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And stop drinking my coffee.
And like, okay, it's fine to admit it when you're backpacking around and you're like, oh, we're all broke together, whatever, let's all go get
He had a
chips.
job.
And don't then stinge off someone else. If you're broke, admit it and live by it and just laugh about it, but don't then go to steal people's coffee and food.
Yeah. Next one.
Wide brim thongs. So like those guys that wear
Surf
like,
Joe's.
I don't know, but the real thick thongs. And even worse if they're like orthotic.
Orthotic thongs can fuck off.
Orthotic thongs.
No, the
With
leather
the
band.
Yeah, like the thick band thongs. I don't know, just really freaks
But
me out.
what I'm saying is, flip side of that, Havaianas,
They're kind of out too.
they're an ick.
Yeah.
I reckon what's in is your classic black and white thong that you get for $10 from your local like Australia store. That remind me of like my grandpa.
The big
wearing them.
the big foamies.
No, not Surfer Joe's. They're not too. They're like a centimetre thick, and they're black and white thongs.
I can't picture those, but all right.
Trust me.
If not, just Birks
Trust me.
or Vans or Blundstones. Something else.
We'll let them slide.
Blundstones at the beach. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, if you are a Joe Rogan listener, you've given me the ick.
Yeah.
You're also giving me the ick if you're a finance bro.
Yep. We already spoke about them. The worst.
I don't care about your property.
Yep. And that takes me to one. Just people that just constantly talk about their money. Like, you know what the saying is? Wait, let me try and remember it now.
Go on. Hit me.
Oh, money talks, wealth whispers. So that's what they say. That's why I'm so quiet all the time, quiet and dainty because I'm so wealthy. But
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say. You know, like the richest people, like you never know that they're that rich because they're just like chilled. Like they have so much money they don't need to prove anything.
True.
It's the people that get their like first job and they're like, oh, I got this much an hour. Like no one cares.
Yeah.
Good for you. Happy for you. But just no one cares.
Final ick for me. You know when you go to a sporting game and they have the band beforehand?
Mm-hmm. And they run through it.
And there's like the band plays before the sporting
Or a
event.
band. I
A
thought you meant
band.
like a band.
No, band.
Band?
The drummer of that band.
We're like, were they wear it around their neck?
throws the thing up, catches it.
Can't say I've seen those in a while, but you mean like a marching band?
The pre-sporting event band.
All right. Well, I need to
Ick.
go to more sporting events. My last one is
Get a real job. Be a real band.
people commenting publicly on a famous person's Instagram post as if they know them. So like say like a famous person puts up like a pretty picture, they like comment like stunning or like looking good. And I just reckon that is just so weird.
That is weird.
Like as if like, you know when your mum's on Facebook and they like it's like a post with 30,000 likes and they just comment on it. And you're like, Mum,
That's not how this
who are
shit
you
works.
talking to?
Okay, what do we do when they don't take the hint? So for this example, he didn't take the hint. He was just, I'm going to say it again, lingering around. I did the long, I went with the long fade out approach. And like I said before, I love a long fade out. I would rather do that than have a 5-minute cut you off conversation.
Yep.
I initiated the long fade out. I then had to
Bring it
backtrack.
back
I had to
in.
bring it back a little bit. And then I had to initiate again a very quick fade out because I was done.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Nicolette?
With the fade out?
Oh, just with when someone's not taking the hint and they're lingering around.
Well, I've tried to give the hint to Zach for the last 6 years and
Yeah.
he's just not taking the hint.
And do you
I'm
know what?
over
I
it.
reckon when you said yes when he asked you to marry him, I just reckon that gave him the wrong impression.
Yeah, I think it could have. But now we're in for the long haul, so I guess I'll stick it out.
I bet you're with
see
him
how
for
we're
his
going.
money too.
I-
Now that he's got
exactly.
property,
Well,
it's a real problem.
we have property. So maybe he's with me. You know what? Since we started this podcast, he's been trying to get all up in it.
It's greasy mitts.
Greasy little mitts on our fame.
Other things you can do if they don't take the hint, I reckon you could tell them that you're not, Trey, not keen.
Say, but I reckon in your situation, he'd be like, oh, no worries, and still hang out.
And he'd still sit on the kitchen bench
Yeah.
and linger, and we'd be working from
Yeah.
home and he's there.
And especially if your friend's staying there, because then he could have been like, oh, no worries, Kate. I'm just going to hang out with a friend. But yeah, they're like, he would have just hung around and hung out with the friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just reckon people like that, they don't want to take the hint. They fucking know there's a hint. They don't want to take it.
Yeah.
So what else could you do?
I think you just have to move, maybe.
Move
I did
country.
get rid of him on my social media because anytime I saw him, I just got infuriated and thought back to the time of him sitting on my bench, drinking a cup of coffee, not offering to make me a coffee, requesting food, and staying when I left.
Okay, do you reckon that there's a difference between being like, I want people when they come over to feel comfortable, right? But I feel like it's over time that they're
too comfortable.
Yeah, you can't be too comfortable straight away. Like,
Yeah.
when my friends come over, I'm just like, oh yeah, help yourself, and they will. But
Yeah.
like, you also know your limit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, there's a packet of chicken in here. I'm just going to cook up some chicken.
Yeah.
Like, help yourself means like, oh, there's a drink in the fridge. You can help yourself, or like snacks or whatever. But like, you're not going to make a full blown meal, which I feel like this guy did.
Yeah. Again, stop drinking my coffee, bro.
Stop drinking the coffee.
It was the shittest coffee ever. I didn't even really like that coffee, but it was just the vibe of him just helping himself. That's just like, fuck, it
Gross.
threw me off. Okay, friends befriending your ex-fuck buddy. You've got a story.
No, I was just going to say
Oh, there's not a story?
that this guy, no, kind of, but not really.
Go on.
This is many a years ago, obviously, before I was in my healthy relationship with Zach that I'm trying to fade out.
Yep.
This, I was like, went on a few Tinder dates with this guy. He was a bit of a dick, sort of bit like,
Is this the one that has a video of him falling over on the running machine?
no, that was another guy, but that was a funny video. I wonder if I can find that. Nah, couldn't post it. Anyway,
You could post it.
I probably could, but I don't think I'd be able to find it. I'll have a look, see what I can find.
If we can get it, let's post it.
Anyway, that was a guy sent me him stacking on the treadmill, which was ironic because the week before I had myself fallen off the treadmill, which is another story for another time. But this guy, and then I think I ended up sending him
Another story. Story number 2.
this is the same guy. Well, off the treadmill guy, we're back to the original.
Yeah.
So I think he was a bit of a dick. So I think I kind of ended it with like a bit of a whatever kind of calling him out message, and then never heard back from him.
Did you call
And
him
then-
out?
I think so. Again, can't
She
really
a
remember.
bad bitch.
And I was like, this guy then just gave me the massive ick, so I unfollowed him and everything. And then like recently, one of my friends was
How
like,
recently?
oh, I'm seeing this guy like maybe 6 months ago. So I'm seeing this guy. And anyway, it wasn't him, but she showed me his Instagram. Best friends. Like,
No.
every picture with this guy. And I was like, I don't think I'd ever told, like it was a close friend, but not like super close, that I'd known that she was dating him. And I was like, oh, that's nice. But I didn't want to bring it up and then be like, oh, it's going to be awkward if you date him because like it was so long ago.
No, I don't think it would be awkward.
But then again, that leads into the question more like, and then anyway, they ended not working out. So thank God for me. But if they had started dating really officially, and then his friend's always hanging out, and then I'm hanging out with my friend, would you pretend you didn't know the guy when you first meet them?
Nah, I'd be like, hey man, remember we fucked?
Remember? And then I called you out on it, and
Do you
were
remember that
like,
time?
yeah. So I always think about that because I'm like, would they pretend that they didn't know you because
Yes.
they didn't call you
This
out
is
on it?
one of my favourite things in life is when someone says, when you meet someone in that similar situation and they pretend like they don't know you, and then you go, remember we met? Remember we used to date? Or do you remember when we did this? And then they have to be like, oh yeah, and then I just love that. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe it wouldn't have been a bad thing. Maybe I could have called him out in front of everyone. That would have been funny.
Do you remember that time?
7
where I
years
called
ago.
you out on your shit? Yeah, that time 7 years ago with you.
So befriending your friends, that's a little bit different story. But what did you say? Befriending your friends, befriending your ex-fuck buddy.
Oh, so many words in that sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it just was a bit awkward.
Yeah. Well, again, because they're hanging out.
And I don't want to see him.
No.
If it was someone that I used to sleep with and we just ended because we were like, well, on to the next.
Yeah.
And we could still enjoy each other's company. But for me, I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, I'm actually going to, just
Wait,
so
so then
annoyed about it.
when the Canada friend went, what happened to this guy? I feel like he just dropped off the face.
He did drop off because I
He took his
initiated
slack line.
and he fucked right off
Went away.
because I initiated the very quick fade out.
That's true.
As soon as our friend left, I went, no.
You moved house, changed locks
Changed locks, moved
He couldn't
house,
come back.
got
No
him
more
put him
coffee
on social
stealing.
media.
from him.
And I never heard from him again.
Wow.
I think we went for one surf after that.
Just nice final surf. The
One-
last hurrah.
The last, if you will, the last.
Was there any
hurrah.
surf that day?
There was.
But you didn't have to impress him by then anyway.
No, I didn't give a fuck. I'm actually, shock horror, I'm not a pro surfer.
Wow. Oh, don't tell all the listeners that. They're gonna know.
So, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be releasing a podcast weekly on all the ins and outs of dating and what not to do. Basically, more like what not to do. If you like the podcast, please give us a follow on Spotify or leave a review in the podcast app. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We are at Dayfacto, where we post cool stuff in general.
See you next time.
Over and out.